What's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Moving with Life. New concept, kind of. I've been going over basic new concepts for the past while, but this is more long term point of view right now. So I want to jump in a second as far as material and some of my intention, um, as far as starting a live stream, seeing what I can do with it, seeing how it works for me. Excuse me, and then we'll go from there. Um, so I recorded. When was my last recording? I think Monday was my last recording, and I was talking about deloading, and then I kind of put deloading and decompression in the same thing. And as soon as I re-listened to that recording, and I was like, no, well, it's not really. It's actually not fully what I meant. The way I kind of put them together. And then in re-listening to Tim Ferriss and some of this stuff, I was like, "What? That's not really the intent of deloading." So, deloading for me and the intent is to actually deload the information. So whether it's recording and talking about it, whether it's writing it down, which I've been doing kind of both. That's kind of why I did the recording, I think Monday or Tuesday night, and now I'm here again. I titled it "Check-in Fridays" because I thought it'd be a good thing to see if I don't know if it'll work because I work on some Fridays, right? So the thing is like I can't be technically consistent as far as the time, like, oh, at 10 p.m. this time we're gonna be doing this, and I'll come on live and I'll talk for 15, 20 minutes and then we'll be out of here. But nonetheless, check-in Fridays, I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna run with it and we'll see what it does again in the long term, the bigger picture. But I did want to so anyways, this all has to do with deloading versus decompressing, because decompressing for me, um is watching TV. I like watching movies. I like, sometimes I won't even know the full tale. I won't even know the full um situation. Like some of the Marvel movies, like I kind of late. Like I watched some of the like Avengers movies before I watched um Doctor Strange and some of those movies. So anyways, so I don't do things of orthodox, if that makes sense. I don't do things in order. I really don't. Everything's I don't I don't like I don't think I don't really play things by ear. I think a lot, and that then I so with that I try to put things in some type of order, but eventually I need to just do the thing, whatever maybe even if it's watching movies. But anyways, so decompression for me is like watching movies. I've been getting this week. I've done better. So right now I'm trying to keep my routine of running 10 minutes or exercising for 10 minutes, no more, no less. Um, and so that's my goal for this weekend. I hit it pretty much. I hit the gym once, and then I ran, and I ran a couple of days. I ran today, ran a couple of days, and then I walked one day because I was feeling more restless. If I'm being honest, I was feeling restless, and I didn't feel like going for a run. And maybe I should have gone for a run. And maybe that would help kind of just suppress the feedback loop, the lizard brain, as Seth Godin puts it. It would help me kind of suppress that, but I didn't, and I didn't fight it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for a walk. I went to Walmart. I'm gonna go for a walk, and maybe I'll spend my money on something. And I didn't. I actually did. I went there. I was there for about 20, 30 minutes, and then I left. And that's just kind of how I roll sometimes. In that sense, where it's like, yeah, I need to get out of the space, because I have everything. Here I have my little studio set up, we'll say, and everything I do is here, and so decompression is just that. Calling home, talking with my friends and family. Na- Working out, running is not really a decompression, but but after, it's always that delayed gratification that I definitely get. So it can be associated with decompression. Then one of the things is music. Music's all. I mean, I've talked about it. That's why I have the music never stops segment, which I haven't done on purpose. It's not like I haven't. It's not like I've forgotten about it, or I have just been putting it off. Um, but like, music moves me. I listen to all kinds of music. I've been listening to a lot of Chris Tomlin lately, um, Carrie Job, Mercy Me, Chris August. those are, Christian artists. I've been listening to a lot of them, along with my normal stuff. Tyler Childers, Gary Allen, Rascal Flatts, um, some other rock stuff. I listen more like heavier rock, bassy stuff whenever I'm running, working out. That's pretty much what I use. If I need a little bit of motivation, sometimes I'll throw on some Jocko motivation on YouTube, and I'll do that. But so yeah, so that's decompressing. Deloading again is I think what I'm trying, and again, I don't know what days they'll fall on, but um, I'm here right now to just deload information. What I've read this week, I listened to a couple of YouTube basically compilations of Jordan Peterson and one Seth Godin. Well, they're both. One of them's like a compilation for Jordan Peterson, and then the Seth Godin one. I mentioned him as far as um, the I think Nordic Business Forum is what it's called, and I put it on the show notes for the last live that I did, and so did that, and so I've been in that mind space, and for the JBP one, one of the things he starts off with on this video is what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis. And it's not like I haven't heard it before. It's not like I haven't read it before. It's not like I haven't read his book. I wish I could say I read his book, but I haven't. I've read the rules. It's 12 rules for life, and then beyond 12 rules. I've done that, and so anyway, so in listening to this new episode of Jordan B. Peterson, he starts in one of the start offs. He's like, sit up in your bed and ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis? And he's like, whenever you ask yourself a question, you should, if and when you ask yourself a question, especially something as serious as this, you should actually want to know the answer. He's like, what does it actually mean? You should want to know. You should want to do better. You should want to actually have an answer, because most of the times when you think about the stupid things you've been doing, then it's a hard thing to push out. It's a hard thing to answer, because you have to be true, because there's no one to be truthful except for yourself. And so that's usually that. Okay, I'm saying that seems to be the hard part. It's hard part for me. Like I love sugar. I know whether it's cookies, candy, Power Gator, I do pretty good about not drinking, but like if I'm eating like lately, and I actually normally, for the most part, like 90% of my time I'm doing great with water only. But like, once a week or twice a week I'll have that Coke, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it does, because when I drink it, it feels good, but then I know I drink a Coke, and it's like a lot of Coke. It's, yeah, let's say 32 ounces of Coke. And not like in a sitting, but that's like my serving. That's a serving. That's, who knows how much sugar that is. Part of me doing this deloading too is me being um, me being vulnerable, but telling the truth as well. If I'm, there is no point in me doing this and trying to actually dive into my thoughts and where I want to go, where I've been, if I'm not going to be telling the truth on here as well. So anyways, when I asked myself this question this week, it's like, what stupid things? And the first thing that came into my mind was like sugar. I know I've been doing bad on the sugar, and yes, it's not often, but it's bad enough where it interrupts my mind and my forward progress, right? Um, excuse me. So that's one thing I'm here to mention, and talk about. It's like, I like sugar. I like, I like sugary drinks. I like candies, and I brought this up before. There's an episode a long time ago where I had just got my blood drawn, and like I got taken to the lab so I can just see where my blood was at, because at that time I was doing blood draws, every 3 months I think, and I was working out a lot, and I thought I was eating well. My blood was still like okay, but I wanted it to be better. Like I wanted to be pristine. I wanted to. I mean, I don't think, because perfection is just like a thing that I actually don't think about. I do think about progress, but I think in the back of my mind, it's like trying to get there. Trying to get there, trying to get there, and there were some times where I had the results and there was minimal change. It's like, man, like what else do I need? Because at the time, I was eating more salads, excuse me, I was eating more chicken. I was eating overall better proteins. I was eating more salads, um, things like that. Where I thought, okay, this should help. Like, I mean, I'm doing this. I'm eating healthy foods. I'm cooking. I'm not eating out to like fast food and stuff so much at the time. And so, anyways, so to retract to now is like sugar's like number one. Next thing is like fast food, and I don't have fast food often, but it's another one that again it interrupts my thought process as far as my forward thinking and my forward movement and things that I want to accomplish and things that I want to do. Um, so those are just again a couple of things that came to my mind when I asked myself what remarkably stupid things am I doing, and whether they sound stupid to you or not, whatever your stupid thing, and he, I think he uses the word stupid to just make a point of like what ridiculous, what things do you actually want to change? Because you know what they are. It's just a matter of going to do that. It's a matter of sitting down and being honest with yourself and being brutal with yourself at that moment. Um, and then through the process of beating these things that you want to stop doing, these ridiculous and stupid things, not ridiculously stupid, but just ridiculous and stupid things that you're doing. When you want to stop those things, you have to be kind to yourself in that process, because hey, are you making progress? Yes, cool. You know, and when you're not making progress, okay, you have to say, well, then you start saying why. You can dive down. Okay, I see the rabbit hole. You can dive down the rabbit hole if you want. But those are the main. I mean, that's something that I feel like I can bring here, whether you're listening to this live or whether you're listening to this, months from now. Today's what, January 21st. So whenever you stumble upon this, I hope that um, this can kind of open some branches and some thoughts, because um, it's what's helped me, and what I hope is in using this to deload, whether I have zero listeners right now or a bunch of listeners, whatever. The matter of fact is me deloading the information, me talking about like, okay, what's been going on in my mind, and how have I tried to make how have I tried to make progress in my personal life, um, which then affects, I for a lot of years now I've believed in, you have to work in and you work out. You work on your internal and then you work outward. Sometimes I remember when I realized, like, man, like a lot of us, especially my age, and back when I was like, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was 24, 25, just finished college, I think of all these things that need to be changed in the world and need to be solved in the world, but it's like, and it felt so unattainable, because in some fashion it is, but in another facet, in another point of view, um it's like, how can you expect to change the world when you can't even change yourself? Like, how, like, and I'm not even talking about following like social networking, anything like that, like business. I'm really not. I'm literally meaning, um how I lost my bit of thought. So anyways, just to keep from going on side tangents, but I guess just the matter of fact of like, you work inward and you work out, and I feel like I was doing very well, and then I lost it, and but probably lost it around 2018. When things started changing, my mind started changing. I realized I wasn't gonna be doing music anymore, at least professionally, or for, as a business, as a career, as a income stream at the time. Um, that's where it seemed like things were, in some sense going backwards, and now I'm trying to get back to the bare minimum. That's why I'm doing, 10-minute runs, 10-minute workouts, no more, no less. The goal right now is just consistency, 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 um, all around. And so that's part of the main thing that I wanted to bring from the JBP stuff. Because I mean, I wrote a whole page. I actually took a picture of this and posted it on my Instagram as well, of the whole page. I try to keep because it was an hour long like lecture compilation, and I was like, oh, I don't want to use more than a page. I'm trying to make sure. And I'll I need to remember. So JVP. I'll put this video in the show notes once I'm done here for tonight. Because it's very good. When like I feel like I could talk through it, but it's like everybody's gonna take this their own way, and so I just trying to take the biggest macro question that kind of his biggest macro question that then Brand it lets him go down the rabbit hole, and how I've kind of hit that and kind of gone into it myself. So there's that, and then I mentioned Seth Godin in Nordic business forum, whatever he did on that lecture, or not. It wasn't a lecture. It was a keynote, and one of the things he talks about is leaping into the void. I can't remember if I talked about it on the last one, but that's probably and for me, leaping into the void is just doing this, um, documenting, talking, thinking, and bringing it to this platform. Where he's like, it's always it's always too soon. There's never because we try to think about a perfect time. Like, oh, I want to do this X, Y, and Z, but I need a little more time. I need more prep. I need more prep. And even Jocko talks about this too. He's like no, you and Jocko's thing is very default aggressive. Like, you start now, you do, and then you kind of evolve as you go. And really, that's what Seth Godin's saying too. But in hearing it from both sides, or in hearing it from Seth Godin in a business sense, and then remembering and thinking about like the fact that Jocko talks about this too, it's a part of this process of this and putting my thoughts down on paper, and then whenever once or twice a week, come on here, deload the information, whatever it may be. And I'll probably I have said this over and over again because I feel like I will be repeating myself. There will be a lot of themes that come out that involve leadership, business, stock market, because that's interesting to me. All these things that help me, help everything that's helped me so far, and hopefully, even if these specific things don't help you, but if you go on your mental adventure, if you go on your internet adventure and find what works for you, because there's so many people out there. Rich Roll's and Rich Roll's actually been around for a long time, and I just recently got into him because he was on Tim Ferriss recently, and that's the one that podcast helped me really dive back into listening to full podcasts, writing down notes like I used to. I used to do this before, excuse me, and a lot of things that have led up to now, from and COVID aside, I'm not saying COVID didn't get in the way in a lot of ways, but COVID aside, I've been getting in my own way, and that's a part of the deload and the decompress, because they're two separate things. So deload and decompress, those are two things that I am using to be able to get back to my old self, but my new self. I'm 30 now. Things are just different. A lot of goals goals I've accomplished, goals that and that's another thing. It's too, like, I haven't written down like some tangible goals in a minute. Aside from like some like health goals, but these are goals too, in the sense of like 10 minutes of working out, 10 minutes of some sort consistently, right? That's a goal that I've had, and it's more of like the actual goal of achieving the process, and the goal of achieving the process instead of having an outcome goal. I guess that is a goal that I have. But what I used to do is like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds in a month. Let's just say, I feel like I used to do a lot of like not only tangible, but it's like a very strict, and that's the way a lot of these achievers, high end achievers, they get to these goals, because they have these concrete goals. Like, I'm going to do this, and then when I do that, I'm going to do this. And for me, I used to be able to, it's not that I can't, but it's like I used to be able to do that. But now my goals are just like, hey, get moving for 10 minutes. Hey, eat, instead of even eating Jack in the Box, go home. You have food at home. Go home and make food, something like that. It's more process goals for me right now. It seems like, especially now as I'm talking loud, because also talking out loud helps you put your thoughts out. At least it helps me. So I will promote that. Of like, when you talk out loud and And you don't have, and again, it doesn't have to be talking to a person. It doesn't have to be, it can or can't be talking to a therapist. It can be or can't be talking to your best friend, your girlfriend, wife, husband, family, mom, dad, whoever. It, for me, it's, I write. I'm happy to have been, I've been writing a lot lately. So I write, I talk. Right now, it's a one-way conversation. When I write, I put my thoughts down basically, and I'm able to see what am I thinking, and my thing is like, is it true? Do I actually feel like that? How do I feel? How do I think I feel? And how am I gonna improve this thing? You know, how am I gonna try to get myself out of this funk, or I had a great day. I write it down. I had a great today. Today was a good day. Whatever they called for. So a lot of deloading, a lot of decompressing seems to be my theme. I'm gonna run with it until I don't want to anymore. Um, but yeah, just some notes to consider, to think about. Um, and I guess if I can encourage you as we close today out, is to um, if I can encourage you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second again. If I can encourage you to do one thing, it is to ask yourself the question, hey, what crazy things, like, what, not what do I want to improve, or having these just um these um I don't want I'm trying to think of a word better than tangible, because that's not what I'm thinking. It's like these concrete, like, things you can touch. Let's try to look beyond that, and really, if I can encourage you, is to, be honest with yourself. Find an outlet. There's a lot of outlets, and then go from there. I have restarted reading The Power of Myth again, and so I'm diving into that. Um, I'm barely on page 5. I started reading like 2 weeks ago. I'm taking my time, I'm taking more time with it now, because every time I get down to my reading, it's usually at the end of the day, and I need to, I can't read this type of book at the end of the day, because then my brain doesn't turn off. Um, but anywho, I hope you all have had a good week. Whenever you do see this, if you comment below, comment what you think. Let me know. You can shoot me a text if you have my number. You can shoot me an email. I'm on all the socials: Twitter, Instagram. I'm probably gonna start a Facebook soon. I think I said that before. I'm gonna start a Facebook at some point. I just haven't done it yet, because Facebook, it's so much more a distraction for me than it is an actual, like, productivity um, piece for me. Yeah, productivity piece for me. So that's that. Thank you for listening again. Don't forget to take care of yourself, mentally and physically. Um, Take care of yourself mentally and physically. Lead from the front. Lead by example. Take care of your teams. Take care of your household, if that's your position. If you're in a leadership role, if you own a business, your goal, your job as a leader in business is to take. If you have employees, is to take care of your employees. Um, and hopefully next time we get together, we'll catch up on the progress we've made at that point too. So yeah, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. I appreciate it, and we'll see you all very soon.